Hello, people. Hello. Hi. So, I was getting down on some schoolwork earlier today. I was like maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe 40 into my schoolwork when all of a sudden I get a knock at the door. And it's my mother. And she says, "Here, son." And I said, "What is it, mother?" And she said, "It's, I don't know." She said it had your name on it. Um, and I was literally just thinking about some dice today, and then these came today. Now I don't know if this is a bonus set or if this is the actual set that I ordered, or if it's one of the sets that I ordered, because I think I'm supposed to get two, and it only came with one. And I saw this advertisement running, and I decided to go for it. And I we'll see if this is a set that I use over here or not. I was loving what it came out and said on the other channel, so let's see. One second. And oh, hold it. I guess I can do that later. I guess I can do that later. There was another little thing in here, like a little sticker. I don't know where it went. Anyway, we'll see what they have to say over here. It was real interesting on the other side. Um, I feel like I fulfilled my Virgo season obligations, so I don't know what this channel gonna look like moving forward. There's a lot of stuff in my life that it's starting to move because I put it into motion. I'll read those, why not? And there's some more stuff that I need to do to keep it in motion, or to make sure that it's a multi-front effort right now. There are things that are more outside of my control and things that are extremely in my control, like the schoolwork. So priorities going to be shifting a little bit. I feel like Virgo season, it was important to aid in the cleanup in any way that I could, and so I attempted to. But now we in Libra season, it's like the justice will come itself. Things will balance themselves out, more or less. Oh snap! I need to check that. Okay, so I'm just pulling up my little cheat sheet for the 2D10s to see everything. Oh, this might be easy. 23 is the Two of Essences. It is. Oh, that's the Two of Essences. Two of Cups energy. Okay, that's interesting. Two of Essences, which is about balancing the internal feminine and masculine, the internal light and the dark. We got the third eye and the crown chakra. Ooh, that's heavy. With the High Priestess. Hold up, is this the High Priestess? I believe. Oh no, that's the star. Or was it? I don't know. That's the star now. With the star energy, which is a light in the dark, fire, and Leo. This is interesting. So we have the Two of Essences, the crown, the third eye, fire, Leo, and the star. So both Leo and the star are fire energies. The difference is proximity. If you're closer to it, it looks like a sun. If you're further away, it looks like a sun. If you're really far away, it looks like a star. The sun is the sun to Mercury, from every planet from Mercury to Pluto, or Uranus if you don't think, or Neptune if you don't think Pluto a planet. The sun is the sun to every planet within the solar system, regardless of how far. For everything within the solar system, even the comets, right? The dwarf planets, everything else. In our solar system, the sun is the sun to everything, no matter how near, no matter how far. It's only when you exit that system that the sun becomes another star, right? So there may be a star that you're gravitating a lot more around that would be the sun to you. And the two of essences, it's almost talking about a multi-starred system. It's interesting though, because it feels like there's this infinity sign, and at the heart of it is a planet that sits at the gravitational field of two different solar systems. And so when it's on this side of the infinity, it's in this solar system. But then at the edge, it's like this star snatches it and it enters that orbit, and it's in that solar system. And then at the edge again, like this star snatches it back. And so it's like this planet that spends its time between two star systems. Hey, Miss Vernell. And I think that's this balance of the light and the dark within ourselves. And then it repolarizes the third eye and the crown, because it's like the third eye is our ability to see, to perceive light and the lack of light, and to form an image. And the crown is our spiritual connection to the source, which could be the sun. And like there are these different aspects of source energy that we sort of bounce in between. This is weird. I want to pull another set on top of this one because I want to leave these down. This it ain't go this deep on the other set. I don't know what this is. It might just be the dice. It might just be the dice. Let's see. Watch it be that gray set. Oh, it's the red set. Okay. Let's clarify these up, please. So we have again on the same one the third eye, justice, which came out. Let me make sure. Yeah, justice, which came out on the other channel. Now we have earth instead of fire. Over here is the crown again. 7 and 6 on both sets. They're the same. What? What is this? So this is looking like Scorpio to balance out this Leo. And then we have, instead of 23, we got 54. That's a 5 and a 9. 54 might be, oh no, it's not. It's the 5 of zones. So now we have the 5 of zones, with these being the same. The element of earth, justice, and Scorpio. The 5 of zones is the element of the 5 of air. 5 is a number of change. It's like there's this old understanding that we had at the 4 that has been disrupted at the 5 before we begin to rebalance ourselves at the 6 and refine and hone that balance. So we're coming out of a space that we're familiar with and not quite in a space of new familiarity, not quite comfortable, not quite found right now. So, like I said, we're at the heart of that infinity symbol. Which solar system are we going to align to? Which one are we coming into? When you're at the heart of something this delicate, whichever way you sort of nudge or push yourself is the way that you're going to gain momentum in. We have justice now, which is a lot closer than the star. But this justice, even though I just talked about justice does itself, this justice feels like a choice. It's a choice that brings up a lot of heavy energy from the past. But it's asking us, which side of the situation do we want to root ourselves in? The third eye and the crown are confirmed. I don't think I've ever. No, I'll take that back. Because there was one time I rolled like 3 sets of dice, and temperance confirmed itself like between 3 different sets of dice. And I kept clarifying it, and it kept coming out temperance. So this is like the second time that's happened. And it's a D6 and a D8, so it's a 1 in 6 and a 1 in 8 chance that it would be the exact same number. So not too extremely astronomical, but still interesting, isn't it? It reminds me of the things that we shine light on are the things that continue to shine, the aksunare. And so this is a space of us aligning ourselves internally to the world that we want to experience externally. There's a mirroring energy here, but it's an inside out mirror, as it always is. But Leo and Scorpio square, and so there's tension there. Leo is fixed fire, Scorpio is fixed water. When they cancel each other out, we get fixed air. Which is Aquarius, which is the star that's right there. So not only is this a space of hopes and dreams, but it's like a space of hopes and dreams born from purified emotion. And the sun is one of the few things that could evaporate all of the water on Earth, right? Especially if we got closer to it. Exactly, Miss Vernell. That's weird. I think I just saw something about infinity. Maybe it's because maybe I read it on here. What did it say? No, it's not on here. I feel like I just read something that mentioned something like that. But I just got off the phone with Emily, and so I don't know what I would have read. It's almost 3:33. Hey, ow. And my mom just came back. I want to talk to her. Earth and fire. Earth is on fire, isn't it? That's not funny. But that's it's this star born out of purified emotion. It's a light that brings, it's a light that penetrates all the way down to Scorpio. Now, the thing about Scorpio is that it's adapted to the darkness. And so now it has to readapt to the light. That's the earth that comes after the fire. It's the regrowth. The fire purifies the earth, and in its wake, it leaves the earth more fertile. It clears space for something brand new to grow. This is that 2 of 333. Hey, can y'all see it? Maybe not. Maybe you can. I don't know. 333. I'm going to grab the SKT and I'm going to see what's on both sides of the 2 of orbs, because that's literally this energy of being in between worlds. And I'm just going to take it as it is. No shifel. Look at the title card on the bottom of the deck. The King and the Queen of Pentacles were together with the Keeper right there. What? The Archangel of Mysteries, the Ebony Shield, and the Keeper. Keeper of the mysteries. And then look, there's the fire. That is the torch that goes into the dark to illuminate the shadows, the sacred fire. With the Seeker right there. Because we were seeking what's been kept in the dark. Okay, alright, y'all. I'm hype. Oh, the Giver. The Giver. Alright, let's go. We ain't got time for all of that. I got stuff to do. What the? What is this? What's on? Oh. The Captor, 8 of Swords. I didn't even know that it was flipped over in the deck. And the Captor was between 2 5s, the Hierophant and the 5 of Pentacles. Both of these are Taurian energy. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's what that's telling me. I did not know that that was flipped over in the middle of this deck. See? I hope I see this card. I am going a little quickly. Here it is. So it's coming out between the Queen of Swords, the Golden Shield. No, the Queen of Wands, sorry. The Golden Shield and the 3 of Cups. With the Healer and the Empress. Healer is the star energy. Empress sitting on the outside. So in the space of being in worlds in between worlds, there is this one energy, this Queen of Wands energy, that is more self-serving, only focused on what she really wants or desires. And then there's this 3 of Cups energy, which is the celebration. It's a coming together. It's a world that's more harmonious for all of us. And so the 8 of Swords trap, the fire cleans the earth and purifies it back to its normal self to stay grounded, right? I don't think, yes, but it feels like it's about grounding ourselves in something new. That's why the ground itself had to be burned away, right? If the ground was okay, then we would just get a storm that came in, or a tornado, or a twister, something that pulls things from the ground but leaves the ground relatively intact. The fire is burning everything and allowing something completely new. So it's about more regrounding ourselves than just straight up grounding ourselves. Okay, Miss Vernell. Thanks for letting me know, but whatever y'all miss, it gets missed. Why she gotta come back here and be so loud? Hold up, y'all. 1 second. All right, she was back here for a reason. I was like, why did she just come back here being all loud for what? Loud for what? But yeah, there's something about the ground itself. So we're regrounding ourselves in something new rather than just like staying grounded in what we were already in. And that's why we're in between like two completely different Earths, two different solar systems. Now, there could also be an energy of a shift that happens before the fire. I didn't plan on pulling. There's the Ace of Swords, so let's clear this up, I guess. There's also an energy of shifting before the fire, escaping the tower, the moon, and the Ace of Swords. Ooh, escaping the tower before it goes down. Energetic alignment. That's the purification of these deep emotions and the timing in which that happened. What am I clarifying? Well, I don't need to clarify the Eight of Swords. I don't know. Just give me. I just want like one or two cards to clarify the entire situation. Well, Virgo season, the Hermit. Bottom of the deck is the Wish Granted, Nine of Cups. I've seen that card recently, when I was shook. Oh, this is a lot of cards. Look at this, y'all. The Erudite. And what does the Erudite have in his little lantern? The star. That's Virgo season. Virgo season was about the moon. Yeah, it has to do with our emotional selves. And it can also be things that we don't really have clarity on in general. And that's the thing about emotions. It's like it's things that we can see, but we can't necessarily quantify, or we can't, like, we can experience them, we can feel them, but we don't necessarily physically see them, and we can't necessarily quantify them. And it was a while ago when the moon started to come up, and I was like, okay, these are things that we can feel that we can't yet see. Now we're about to begin to see the things that we were feeling, and depending on if you handled the feelings before, it will depend on what you begin to see now. If you handled the feelings, if you took advantage of that erudite Virgo time to go within and purify the things that were coming up within yourself that left you feeling trapped, this is a self-entrapment. If you work through that, then what you're going to see is going to be different than someone who maybe didn't necessarily do that. And that's going to be what determines if we come into this new world solar system cycle over here, or if we stay in the old one that we were kind of sort of on the brink of. And in this deck in particular, what separates the two worlds, North Node and the South Node. Rather, you've used the adversity that has been this year to grow yourself with this hermit energy, or whether you've run from it and you've continued to seek, establish, and reinforce the comfort that you had. Yeah, yeah. And that came up, I don't know when that was. I was like, oh, the moon, that's like things that we can feel but we can't see. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, though. And that's what this hermit is about. Oh, and then we have the lovers. Oh, and after the lovers is a card that's been popping up lately. The lovers is a space of choices. This is mercurial energy. Mercury is the mind. Where has your mind been? Where is your mental? Eight of Swords. Have you freed yourself from your mental prison? This is Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is in Capricorn right now. Capricorn is restrictive, but not unnecessarily so. Capricorn restricts for a reason. Have you found the reason why your mind has been restricted, that you keep sabotaging, self-sabotaging, not aligning with the opportunities that are for you. Jupiter in Gemini is like you get the opportunity that is reflective of the space that you're in. And if you're self-entrapping, then the opportunities that you attract to yourselves, either they'll be like near misses or they'll be things that don't fully lead to where it is that you thought that they would go. Have you done the internal work to get you to choose things that are actually better for you? Or are you still choosing all of those self-knowed things that you're supposed to be evolving out of? And then we have the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. So either you are choosing the thing that gets you where you want to be with the Ten of Pentacles, either you've taken advantage of that Saturnian energy to really build and establish and discover what it is that will be the foundation of your legacy, or you chose to stay stuck. You chose to not face the things that you needed to face. And again, you're sabotaging your own opportunities. For this, I will take no clarifiers. I'm going to put the last two cards over here because they fit. With the Ten of Pentacles also comes the Four of Wands celebration and much, much more with the stronghold of the veil. These are physical blessings, tangible experiences. Like all of your spiritual work, your mental, emotional development, it's going to pay off in physical ways. And you're going to be recognized. The Four of Wands is a card of public celebration, right? Typically, if we think of marriage as something that we invite our friends and our families to, it's also a merging and a joining of two things. The Ten of Pentacles can also be a merging or a joining of two things. It could be the established legacy with those who will inherit it next. The Sabian symbol for the first degree of Libra was a light transmuted from the 6th generation to the 7th. And then here's a card of legacy. A light transmuted, it's this wands, but it's in the shape of a wheel. What it'll lead to, nobody knows, but I mean, you can believe it'll be good if you align to it, or because of the work that you didn't do, you're going to make choices that keep you stuck. And odds are, if you didn't do the work on yourself, you're going to think that it's everybody but you keeping you stuck in this situation, when in reality, you're the only one to blame. And that's something that I've been saying for a while. I feel like things are going to get to the point where we are going to know that if we're not in a good space coming out of it, we're the only ones that we have to blame. And of course, people cannot accept that, and you can continue to blame other people, or you can take responsibility for the things that you did and the part that you played, and you can better yourself to come into something better. It's almost like the Queen of Wands is the one who continues to make excuses for why she doesn't have what it is that she wants, rather than being someone that it's like softening up to the point where people around you and the universe itself, spirit, wants to collaborate and work with you to make your dreams come true. 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Instead of you being so fiery and abrasive and entitled to the point where you're demanding things that are not yours to demand because you feel that you've done whatever. But 8 of Swords, 7 of Swords, like, you don't even see how worthy of this you actually aren't, because you were too busy being egoic and entitled to do the actual work. And that's why we have Justice coming out with this star energy. It's something deserved. It's something earned. And either you're going to shift to this North Node world before the fire, or you're going to have an opportunity after the fire starts to reground, recenter, and refocus yourself on a more aligned path. It's whatever your experience needs to be to get you to the place that you need and want to be in. It reminds me of all the times my mom would tell me growing up, I really, really, really hope that you will take these lessons and that you will learn before you're forced to learn. Because I don't want to see you go down a path that you don't have to go down because of all of these things that lie unresolved within you. I had anger issues growing up because I wasn't, I didn't communicate at all. When people were upsetting me, when things would upset me, I wouldn't communicate it. I would just bottle it up until I exploded. And it literally took a lady one summer, I don't even remember her name, but I remember her face and I remember that conversation and I remember the weather outside that day. It literally took her to tell me that people can't read my mind and that if I'm upset or bothered, I have to communicate that. It took her to tell me that for me to understand. And I was a kid, so now that I'm older, it's like, oh yeah, people aren't mind readers, duh. And just because I can be a little bit more empathic and just because I can tell when other people are starting to get to the point where they're upset doesn't mean that other people can tell when I'm getting upset, especially with my little Taurus moon, because there are certain things that I can handle and wear pretty well until the point where I break. And also, I'm a Taurus rising, so I'm just playing with astrology here. But it's like I from the outside don't necessarily always show when things are getting to me. Like my temperament or the way my visage or whatever, the face that I wear can be pretty even keeled, right? Now there are also some things that my face will express, but me being upset isn't necessarily one of them. Like if someone says something that I'm like, really, like I can't believe that person just said that, like that will show on my face more than me being like upset or mad, right? Some people be like, oh, you look mad. I'm like, I'm okay, like I'm not mad, right? Anyway, it's about accountability. Let's see. So Libra is in the seventh house where they are the love, and they also want, just are we in that place right now? I mean, Libra is seventh house energy, but love only exists in the seventh house when love is deserved. To get love from somebody, you have to put love into somebody. The seventh house is about balance. And balance in general is the theme of relationships. But relationships can be good or bad. That's why the seventh house is either the house of open friends, open lovers, or open enemies. It's that either or, which whatever you put into it is what you get back. The seventh house, it's more about mirrors than I would say like anything else. It's like mirroring and balance is the seventh house. And it is love and healthy relationships when you are loving and a healthy, active participant of that relationship. But that's you getting, now, if it's reciprocated, that's you getting out of the relationship what you put into it. And so if you withhold from the relationship, if you don't put your all in, it's like it's not going to last. But yeah, it can be that. This is just how I'm feeling the energy in here in particular, but whatever you get out of it as your own personal realization, feel free to take that as well. But to me, it's just like I said, Virgo season is the opportunity to clean it all up before we come into Libra season. Either we took that opportunity or we didn't. And again, I've also been feeling that like when the wheel of fortune begins to turn, it's not just gonna turn. It's gonna be the decisions that we make and the way that we carry ourselves because of what we learned or failed to learn from the lessons that were being presented to us. Because of how we grew or failed to grow. Because of how we matured and evolved or failed to mature and evolve. That will determine whether the wheel turns in our favor or it turns against our favor. And it's that justice. And it's a lot easier to make a self-honoring choice when you've been in the space of discovering the worth of yourself, loving yourself, honoring and valuing yourself, and then from that space making a choice that will amplify and align with that rather than making the one that doesn't. And that's this Scorpio Leo cleanup, right? The Scorpio is us cleaning up all of those things, all of those traumas, all of that pain that lie closer to the root of our emotional being, that far below the surface. And Leo is also us addressing and tackling and handling the way that we express ourselves externally. Are we expressing ourselves from a place of authenticity, or are we expressing ourselves from a place of compensating and overcompensating sometimes for what is a lack within ourselves? Sometimes, if we feel powerless in our own lives, what we can do is we can find people that we can go out and manipulate and control, so that it's like we associate the control of other people with the control that we want to have over our own lives. But you don't have to control anybody else or manipulate anybody else to have control over yourself or to have control in your life. There are these distortions that play out. There are these things within our emotional root that, if not handled, lead us to act and compensate in ways physically. And the thing is, whenever you exert yourself onto someone else, that is something that you have to pay back. Either you can project yourself out in a positive way, or you can project yourself out in a negative way. And justice is coming with the payback. And that's the thing about the star, right? Depending on how close you are to that star, it could become a sun. But if you are so removed from the truth of you, where your own solar plexus is a star in your own life, where your solar plexus like isn't even close enough to you to be your own sun, that's what sort of puts you out in the dark and can have you making decisions, puts you out in the dark and can have you making decisions that don't even align to you, because you're so far disconnected from your own light. Maybe you don't even realize that it is your light within the lantern that you're supposed to be going to try to find anyway. The journey of the hermit is your light leading you to a greater source of your light. But if you weren't being guided by your own light, if you were following false lights or somebody else's light, no wonder why you feel lost and confused and you don't know where to go. You can't follow somebody else to the heart of you. That's not how that works. But the third eye and the crown are confirmed twice. So it's like whatever you're seeing, there's like this feedback loop between the third eye and the crown. And there's like, in that feedback loop is this opportunity for it to be interrupted. It's like it's short circuiting up here. And it's supposed to be cycling through the entire system. But it's circling up here. The crown in its default is receptive. Especially how we experience the crown as humans, it's receptive. And you can be open to any spiritual force, not only the good ones. And if you're not handling and tackling what has been coming to the light, if you're running from the light, you're running towards the darkness. You're running towards something that is distorted or misconstrued. Running towards what you want. But are your desires, like, do they even line up with the truth of who you are? Or have your desires been distorted by traumas and negative experiences from the past that continue in the present, that you, knowingly or not, continue to line up in the future? Have you been short-circuiting yourself in this South Node world that you don't even want to be in because of whatever would keep you from doing the work that you would have needed to have been doing? Libra season is the opportunity for all of that to become plain as day. It's like we had the mirror covered for a long time, and it was an opportunity for you to work on yourself so that when we uncover the mirror, hopefully what you see in the reflection is something that you want to see. Or it'll be that realization again of how you've been working against yourself. And that's the two of essences and the five of zones, right? The two of essences is us. Again, that's the integration of the feminine and the masculine, the light and the dark within ourselves. That's us needing to take a look at us instead of looking at everything outside of us and blaming everything outside of us. That's what's going to be what determines if we either move forward mentally in that five of zones or if we regress in that five of zones. So, wow. Didn't necessarily expect it to go all the way there, but I like it. Because things are constantly happening in the world. Opportunities are constantly being provided to us. It's a question of the opportunities that we align with and the ones that we allow ourselves to accept. And I mean, the state of our mind has been something that we've had the opportunity for quite a while to begin to address. And the life that we have set up for ourselves to live is something that we've had quite an amount of opportunity to begin to address. You know, sometimes we wanted normalcy so bad, and we wanted to, that we completely overlooked the things that were there for us to look at and observe. Like it's happening for a reason. It's not just to make you miserable. It's not just to break you down. It's not just to make you cry. It's not just to put you in a corner or put you in a closet that you can't escape from. But the power of free will is whether or not you take those things as opportunities to pick yourself up, to learn something, and to allow it to better you. You have the choice of how you react in a situation. And how you react in a situation will encourage the situations that you have coming. And it doesn't matter who started it, because we always have the power within ourselves to end things that we don't like. So, not too warm and fuzzy, but hey, if you've been doing it, if you've been doing the work, then it's going to be extremely warm and fuzzy. Warmer and fuzzier than you would have ever even imagined. Because that's the power of a mirror. It's an ability to also amplify and magnify certain things. Hopefully it's the things that we want, because we've reduced the things within ourselves that we don't want. Nobody has to change. No one has to evolve. No one has to better themselves. No one is being forced to. You can only be strongly encouraged. So, final message from the SKT time, please. Final message from the SKT. This will be one of the rare appearances that this deck makes on this channel. I usually save it for the other channel because I don't typically like going that deep over here anymore. Just because, I don't know, this is a channel that I try to be less fiery on. Well, that's way too much, but I just saw the Chariot. And the Chariot, that movement is entirely dependent on the union of your light and your dark. Bottom of the deck is the title card. Again, the title card has found its way to the bottom of the deck again. And what came out is the Six of Cups, the Memory Keeper. What is this? This is the Sun and Scorpio energy. Scorpio is the season that comes up next. Are you going to be reliving the trauma from your past after Libra season is over? That's a you question. That's a you thing. What are you doing? What are you aligning to? What do your actions say? More so than just your thoughts. Oh, if I think good things, then good things will happen. It's like, sure, but you also got to start doing some good stuff. Right? The law of attraction is, it's starting to amplify itself up a little bit. It's starting to ramp up a little bit. Manifestation, it's starting to ramp up a little bit. It's more than just the mental space that you're in. Because there's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now that needs to be addressed. And it needs to be seen, to be resolved and worked through. We can't continue to ignore things expecting to get where we want to go. Maybe it'll work for you. I don't know. I can't say that it won't work for anybody. All I know is in my own little energetic world and bubble, it's like the time for that works, it's over. It's a time of action. I mean, Mars is retrograde right now, so hey, things aren't just happening. South Node is in Sagittarius. South Node is in Temperance energy. South Node is in Wheel of Fortune energy. North Node, that's in the energy of the lovers. It's in the energy of the magician. The choices that we make and the actions that we take, because things aren't just happening right now. And when you begin to make things happen, especially the things that align for your highest good, you will find so much support. If you're acting in alignment with something other than that, that's probably where the energy of Saturn and the retrograded Mars will kick in and you'll find resistance. Now, that's not to say that the things that we're working for that align for us won't require any resistance, because it's also a time of really, really building the foundations. And so the resistance could be either something that you're not supposed to be building towards, or it could be something to like really, really, really make sure that that foundation is solid. Because if the foundation is solid, you can build and repair anything on top of that. But if the foundation is effed, then you probably got to tear the whole building down and start all over. So that's what I got for y'all. Hope y'all have a good whatever whenever y'all see this. Thanks for Vernell, Miss Vernell, for coming to chat with me. I hope y'all are acting in alignment, acting in alignment to make the good better, the better great, the great fantastic, wonderful, the wonderful miraculous. Because for those who believe and act in alignment with miracles, miraculous things happen. For those who just sit by and watch, more often than not, they turn bitter and sour and jealous and petty, and they continue to watch. So, choose your path.